Andrew Tate, How He Seduced, Part 2. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I'm using a detailed article compiled by Vice about Andrew Tate, explaining the way by which he seduced individuals into his network, and explaining how actually this is the behaviour of a narcissist at work, something, of course, which is missed by Vice, but provides me with an excellent opportunity to use Andrew Tate as a further example of various aspects of narcissism in action, and in particular by reference to him being an upper lesser type B somatic. The article continues. The Loverboy method existed long before the invention of social media or the arrival of Andrew Tate into the public consciousness. But Tate's brazen promotion of his strategies has clearly highlighted the dangerous potential of what happens when the method is amplified with social media technology, i.e., when a narcissist utilizes social media, weaponizing powerful apps as powerful tools for recruiting, grooming, and exploiting women around the world. It's a problem that's attracted the attention of governments. A Dutch government webpage on human trafficking notes that social media is playing an increasing role in the Loverboy phenomenon, i.e., in narcissism, giving traffickers much greater scope for establishing contact with victims and gathering information about vulnerable boys and girls, and making it easier for them to force their young victims into the sex industry. Now again, those individuals that force people into the sex industry are not all narcissists. There'll be normals doing it as well, who have no emotional empathy for these people who are strangers to them. But the origins of the method of recruitment come from the narcissists, which are then replicated by normals as a means to enable them to recruit these individuals and make money out of them. The article continues. Tate has taught these same exploitative techniques to legions of his followers through online video training courses such as the PhD, which he sold on his website for £377 to £778, residual benefit. While the course is no longer available on his website, links to the content can still be found online. Adapting techniques from so-called pickup artist subculture, something which I've spoken about previously, which is festooned with narcissists, Tate's PhD course promised to teach his followers how to target women on social media, have sex with them, get them to fall in love, and exert psychological control over them, essentially the teaching of manipulative techniques for the purposes of him gaining the prime aims. A related Tate video training course called Webcam, which is also no longer available on Tate's website, but remains accessible elsewhere online, followed on from the PhD in promising to teach men how to groom their newly acquired multiple girlfriends to work in the sex webcam business. Vice World News has viewed both training courses in their entirety. Essentially, what Tate was doing was monetizing his own narcissism for the purpose of teaching other people how they could behave in a way similar to him for the purposes of enabling them to recruit individuals. Of course, with a section of society which is young and male that feels abandoned, someone such as Tate coming along offering to provide these techniques means that they invariably fall for it. Many of them won't be able to do it effectively because they lack the essential tools that are required for them. But the others that will be able to replicate them with some degree of success. But at the end of the day, Tate won't care if people succeed or not, because the fact is he's got their money and therefore has required that residual benefit. The article continues. My job was to get women to fall in love with me, literally, reads a since-deleted page on Tate's website advertising the PhD course. It's interesting to note that the courses are no longer available and that the pages are deleted, which of course is a nullification of threat to control by withdrawal. Meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me to where she'd do anything I'd say, and then get her on webcam so we could become rich together. Seduction, exploitation. In the webcam course, Tate street the psychological aspect of his teachings was the same as in street pimping, in that they relied on encouraging women to love their pimp rather than fear him. Fear and love and money are excellent motivators of people and allow the assertion of control. But ultimately, by causing people to love and admire you, it is far easier to control them because it requires less industry and less potential consequential issues than if you cause them to fear you. I've often explained that, as an example of that, during the Second World War, Norway, albeit occupied and resisting, held down more panzer divisions per head of the population because they wouldn't roll over, and it was necessary for the Nazis to assert control over them by trying to do so through fear and force rather than consensual occupation. The article continues. This is one of the biggest things people don't understand about the pimp game, he said. She has to respect you and love you and want to work with you. Records of voice notes and WhatsApp messages from Tate, shared by Lisa with Vice World News, clearly document these nakedly manipulative attempts to groom her into working for him. Flattery, bribery, seductive hoovers, in what she now understands to be a textbook case of Loverboy grooming, or, to put it more formally, the seduction of a narcissist. The proposition he consistently put forward to Lisa in these messages and voice notes was that being his girlfriend would mean living with him and working for him in return for her labour. That shows the way that he objectifies her, and it's a transactional arrangement. And faithfully obeying his instructions, assertion of control, she would get access to his supposedly luxurious jet-set lifestyle and his love. Promised gain, future faking, triangulation. Lie to some twats, make money, see me every day, was the formula he proposed in one message seen by Vice World News. Haughty, dismissive, triangulation, promised gain. And although she could not expect him to be sexually exclusive with her, his true feelings for her would be above any other woman he promised. Lie, flattery. I didn't realise at the time how clever he was with his grooming tactics, said Lisa. He would just sort of sell you a lifestyle. In the messages, Tate repeatedly pushed Lisa to try performing sexually on camera, exploitation, something she said she had no interest in doing. In one exchange, he tried to set up a date for them, during which he suggested she could try the cam thing, just try it and see how easy it is. Belittlement, hoovering, pressure. He dangled the carrot of her potentially managing a webcam business he's planning to open in Amsterdam, promised gain. You can't manage the business if you don't know the business. So you have to do cam work for a few weeks first, he wrote. Maybe if you like it, relocating to Amsterdam becomes more realistic. In another exchange, Tate tried to set up a call between Lisa and one of his female employees with the goal that they can become friends and that she can reassure Lisa about working for him. Triangulation with person, assertion of control. Ask her what life's like, then decide, he wrote. She takes cash off losers on a computer. No one fucks her. No one touches her. It's all a game. Haughtiness, dismissiveness, triangulation with person. This strategy of using female webcammers to put the hard sell on potential recruits to join the industry is one Tate explicitly advocates in his online teachings. In his webcam course, Tate talked about getting trusted women who already work for him to sell the proposition of webcam work to potential recruits, lieutenants and coterie members. You don't do the selling, he said. The girl has to hear from a girl. Lisa said this was a tactic he was clearly trying with her. He would try to use women to manipulate other women, triangulation, into coming and joining the party, if you know what I mean, she said. When Tate became frustrated that his techniques weren't persuading Lisa to work for him, challenge, threat to control, he switched to a more domineering tone, change of manipulation, in his messaging, hoovering, making big promises, promise gain, and more urgent demands. Lisa said he became highly controlling, demanding that she pick up her phone if he couldn't reach her. Her failure to answer, of course, wounds him, and therefore threatens his sense of control, resulting in this response, in his narcissism making such demands. In one voice note shared with Vice World News, an exasperated-sounding Tate issued ultimatums. I'm having kids in a year. 1. 2, you're going to do as I say, regarding absolutely everything else, where we live, where we go, everything, otherwise we have absolutely nothing to talk about, he said in the voice note. Haughty behaviours, demanding, sense of entitlement by ordering about, expecting immediate response. In another voice note, he instructs her to book a flight to see him immediately. Hoovering, sense of entitlement, issuing orders and instructions. If you want the king back, grandiosity, you have to fly here. Look at flights. Tell me which one you want. I'll book it. Bribery, he said. Get the fuck over here and show me you're sorry. Get on a plane. Hoovering, demand. Lisa told Vice World News that she had cottoned on relatively quickly that Tate was attempting to manipulate her and other women. Barely a month after they had started dating, she said, the penny dropped that he was using Tinder on his frequent travels to find potential new recruits for his webcam business in each location, use of a hunting ground. On the 16th of February 2016, she confronted him in a WhatsApp exchange, accusing him of using the app to mass recruit women like her for his webcam business. Challenge fuel. If this is how you recruit your staff, sleep with them, vet them, make sure they are tough enough to take shit, you need to stop using Tinder, she wrote in a message shared with Vice World News. Tate, who Lisa said was travelling constantly during the 6 months or so they were in contact, between places like Bucharest, Amsterdam, London, Liverpool and Thailand, responded by telling her she was a very smart girl. Patronising flattery. You need to understand the dynamics of my operation, he wrote, before explaining that Tinder allowed him to find attractive women. I can load Tinder Romania and find better-looking girls than in England. Easy, he wrote. Grandiosity, boast, before sending her screenshots of a string of young Romanian women he'd found on the app. Vice World News made multiple attempts to contact lawyers acting for Tate, seeking his comments for this story, but did not receive a response. Nullification of threat to control as a consequence of staying in a position of withdrawal. Now, of course, what's also interesting in all of this is that his operation, whereby he doesn't have a facade, has the collateral consequence of creating a body of evidence which is now being used against him, which is commensurate, of course, as I always explained to you, with the principle of give the narcissist enough rope. We'll continue in part 3 with an examination of his behaviours and breaking them down vis-à-vis narcissism.